All right, I'm gonna spam all of the places. If you want to spam your chat outro,
Yeah, I'll let the people know.
here we go.
There we go.
Outros.
A little bit of a retweet.
Ooh, retweets.
Most of my people are asleep.
That's okay.
So
Any of those insomniacs that see it will be like, ooh, what's this? Where do you live, by the way?
Eastern Europe, Latvia.
Latveria?
Yes, Doctor Doom, very good.
Yes, all of the Doombots, please do not come to my house. Yes.
I mean, I make drones, so.
Well, there you go. I mean, we could just call them Doombots and it'd be fine.
They'd be really shitty Doombots.
Oh. I mean, how's that different from regular Doombots?
The Doombots can punch and have fingers.
That's fair.
Just attach prosthetics to them and have them fly into people.
Yeah.
We have unmanned airplanes and not like quadcopters, so if they fly into you, it's probably gonna end really badly for you. So the arms are unneeded.
Or they could have like the noodle arms, so you could just do like a strafing slap where they just fly just low enough that they can boop you and then keep going.
Yeah, we've had some interesting test flights. We're gonna make a quadcopter. It goes up, does a flip, comes back down.
Oh, cool. Have you seen the like goof videos of the Boston mechanics where they're just beating the hell out of the robots that are programmed to not attack and harm humans? And it's like, you know, it's like, I'm gonna hit it with a bottle. I'm gonna hit it with a battering ram. I'm gonna flying kick it and knock it over. As like while it's trying to work the gun range, and it's like you want robot rebellions? This is how you get robot rebellions. Is one day they're just gonna be like, I'm done taking all this crap.
Stop being mean to robots. People.
Yeah, stop being mean to robots. What if you guys are the robots? What if you're not even
I
teenagers?
mean, I think the decision to like start dabbling in artificial intelligence in any capacity was a mistake on humanity's part. But
It's fine. It's fine.
I just almost at everybody in the Far Verona server.
Oh
The
yeah.
level of artificial intelligence is mostly syntax and response.
Okay, so now we're actually going to get started. Now that people will stop coming into my room. Yeah, apparently tamper seals have been tampered with on stuff in the pantry. It's like, did you use this? No. Okay, great. It's like, yeah. So, yeah, that's whatever. Hey, hi guys. This is Misspent Youth, a teenage rebellion in a fucked up future. This will be parental content warnings. These are adults using adult language. You have been warned. And we're going to talk about some pretty unpleasant things and rebel against them. So, since we don't have... There you go. I like that attitude. Since we don't have our nameplates up just yet, we'll go through and have everybody introduce themselves. I'll start. I'm Rendis. You can find me at Partywave Games, most of the places, or on our Discord server if you happen to be there as Rendis. I use the he, him pronouns, and I'm generally just a fun person to be around, so thanks for watching today. We'll go clockwise, which means we go next to... what are we calling you? Are we calling you Fabulosity on here?
Yeah, let's
Fabs?
X Thomas or Fabulosity. Haven't been on a live stream in 2 to 4 years. Been clean, and y'all are gonna mess me up.
Yeah.
I've been clean, guys. I've been clean. I don't have anything
the live
to say.
streamers.
Yeah, it's you do a
It's bad. I got a bad.
you do a podcast for 130 episodes. You're like, you know what? Live streams are bad for me.
It's my last one. I'm out, boss.
Just one more big score.
Just one more, and So, stream 4 hours, nobody watching. Cool. Bye.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and then you get those occasional fun gems where somebody famous from like Geek and Sundry is like, "I'm gonna raid you with like 100 people," and you're like, "Yeah,
Well, I don't think Geek and Sundry were that big at the time.
no,
Well,
it's
big,
happened.
but
It's
not-
happened to us a couple times though, and it's like." Because it's only happened for our vampire game, but
I mean,
Yes.
where else would it happen?
yeah, and that's why I'm like, awesome. It's like, and I think one of the times Xander just popped in without ever interacting with him, and it's like, I know you. It's like, hold on, I need to follow you and show counter love because you were great. So yeah, it's always cool when that happens. So now I kind of like, yeah, I pop into his streams now more frequently than I used to, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna return the affection for getting affection, because it's a lot of the streaming stuff for us has been very one-sided, and I'm really happy with the growth we've made in the last like 6 months. We disconnected from a really toxic streamer who was not reciprocating the amount of effort we were putting into things, and when they unceremoniously booted me from like 4 of their running games, I was just like, yeah, I got this like really nasty drive-by breakup letter from them where they're like, I'm just gonna boot you out of the games, and all I was just like, okay. just the one punch man. Okay, bye.
Peace.
Yeah, it's like, well, I wasn't having fun anyways, so yeah. I asked.
So my only experience with like surprise visits of like famous people, well, famous, whatever, was I was playing, I think I was playing Parasite Eve. Yeah, I was playing Parasite Eve, and my microphone was busted, or my microphone was picking up my camera's microphone at way too high of like volumes. So it was like super breaking and whatever. But Adam showed up to my stream and was just hanging out for like a solid half an hour. And it wasn't like after or like immediately before when he showed up for Bag of Bones. It was just like a random time, and he popped in, and I was like, oh yeah, what's going on?
Mm.
I'm just playing this game from 1997.
But you're pretty chill with Adam, so
Yeah, it's become more so recently though, so it was like surprising at the time, I guess.
yeah. All right. Any other cool stuff to go over, guys? Like, I don't mind talking for
Further introductions, I guess.
Oh, you're right. We
We
got
this.
way off topic. So we're gonna go. That's the camera down that way to Oren
Oh,
Ishii
hi. Yeah.
of the Crazy 88s. I've been holding that joke in this whole time.
Okay, hello. My name is Oren. You can find me at Party Web Games and many other games. And you can also find me at Discord at Oren Room. So, yeah. I'm actually pretty thrilled to play this game. It's similar to like, I don't know what game that is, but it's like similar rebellion type of games. TRPG games, which I'm really excited. I just like to play the rebels, man. Just really
Yeah.
like it. Let's fuck shit
Fuck
up.
authority.
Rebel and a traitor, take them away.
I liked it because it looks like it plays a lot like Fiasco.
Hmm. And I mean, it's a burning wheel too, so it's right up your alley.
Well,
Also,
it's published by them. It's like
Oh,
part
is
of
it
the
just
Burning
published by them?
Publishing.
Okay,
Yeah, it's not Luke Crane's game.
gotcha.
Alright, who's next?
It would be outro. So
Yeah, I guess it's me. Hi.
let
I'm
outro do your intro.
I'm outro or Sean. I'm actually probably going to name my character my first name in this game. I think it'd be fun. It's a bad call, but so I use the they them pronouns. I stream. I don't know, the past 2 weeks I've had a little bit of trouble getting online, but I'm trying to continue streaming regularly. Right now I'm playing Minecraft because nothing really has been catching my interest, but there's a lot of games coming out in March and April, so I'll be back and active with games that aren't Minecraft once those come out. Other than that, that's over on my own channel, Outro1, You can find me on Twitter as well, but that is outro42.
All
That's
right, and that'll bring us up to Shay.
Hi everyone, I'm Shay, part of Party White Gaming. I do some art and things, and I am now in Misspent Youth. Welcome to Session 0. Fuck
To Session
everything.
0. Also, Shay, bit of side news. It looks like family has settled on a moving date for heading out that way. It looks like the 22nd of May, so we'll need to mark that down, and I'll have time to head out there situated so that we can find a place.
Okay.
Yeah. For anybody in both the game and just overhearing us, Che and I are significant others, and we'll be moving in together. So soon we'll have to figure out how to record side by side instead of across states.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it is. I'm really excited.
Big hype.
Where are you still planning on moving to Virginia? Because that's driving distance from where I live.
Virginia
Friends in real life.
slash Maryland, but yes, friends in real life.
Maryland's even closer.
I'm gonna start trying to put us back on track, I think.
I mean,
Che, you created an NPC and left a message. You're adorable.
what?
You redeemed your 5,000 points to create an NPC, and instead you just left a message saying you're going to put us back on track, and
I didn't realize I did that.
your attempt to put us on track failed because now we're talking about it.
There's an NPC.
Yeah,
That's
name our
his
NPC.
entire goal is.
You created an NPC whose whole goal is to put you guys back on the right path.
Good luck with that.
They're just gonna pop up and be like, y'all look lost. Perhaps I can give you some
Well,
insight.
here's the thing. I'm a PC, and my exact goal is to stay off track.
There you
Oh,
go.
I thought he was like a counselor, but it turns out he's like some sort of guide. Like,
Yeah, he's gonna be
lost?
an old country spirit guide. He's gonna be like, y'all seem to have lost your way. Sit down for a spell.
I'm gonna be like, old country spirit guide. Listen to this music, and then give them some like. Oh, no,
he's gonna be
Operation
like, you got some great guitar playing there. Why don't you sit down and play a tune with me? And then he's gonna break out his banjo, and the two of you are gonna just like have a jam session. It's gonna be deep and inspirational.
And after that,
Yeah,
you'll understand.
that took a different turn than I was.
I know,
expecting it to.
like his whole existence is to get you back on the right path. So he's not gonna be frazzled by your desires, and you're gonna realize that maybe this was what you needed all along.
That's gonna be a tough call.
So
Yeah.
is that our authority? A
No.
ghost? A country spirit?
An old-timey ghost man. Yeah, he's gonna have some deep-seated racism that we don't talk about. no, I'm sure he's
I
gonna
wonder
be.
if my character is gonna be the ones getting offended from all the racism.
Oh goodness, no.
Are
As
you racist against everyone?
everyone, yeah, no. As a person of color as well, I will throw jokes at my own expense more than anybody else's. So,
I guess it's a good time to talk about like boundaries and stuff. Then.
yeah, that is a good time to segue into it after some casual racism. Let's kind of as a group establish what stuff we are more or less like. What are the hard no's? Because this is a game about walking that line of as we discussed before going live. The things that are supposed to be so atrocious it makes you mad that you want to rebel, but there's always going to be some hard no's of topics we don't discuss. And I think especially for this game too, we should have like the red card rule. And chat, I do love and respect your guys' opinions too, and I don't think we'll ever get to the size where I won't be able to notice if somebody in chat is not okay with it. But my advice to chat largely will just be, if there's something that makes you guys uncomfortable, just remember that it's a game, and you guys are always welcome to step away until a scene passes and come back and join us afterwards. Players, if there's something direct message or just kind of like doing the like hold up a finger, because I'm gonna have OBS open the entire time so that I can see everybody's beautiful faces while we're playing. So I will do my best to be observant of it if there's something. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that, you know, for mine, hard nose, I'm pretty open about everything. So I tend to like walking the line of, you know, what is depravity and awful things, because I'm already playing the Authority too, so I kind of have to be a little more desensitized than everybody else. So really there's not going to be much for me, but we'll go around the clock again. So Fab, any hard nose that we should try to avoid? And this is any subject too.
I'm Latvian and I play Second Life. I have no hard nose.
Okay. Then down to Oren. Anything?
Not in particular. Like I've played a lot of games, and honestly, I don't have any hard nose.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty loose here. Pretty loose.
And rounding it down to outro.
I'd like to keep like sexual assault and like child human trafficking for sexual purposes off the table, if we could. It's a game about kids, and it's an easy pit to fall into. I know it's probably not a direction you were planning on taking, but just to put it out
Damn
there.
it, I gotta rewrite my character.
Yeah, well, and that's always something too. Is it a fade to black or completely? And I'm not saying that, you know, it's like, well, if it's fade to black, we're always going to talk. We're going to, you know, it's like, that's my ticket to talk about it, because, yeah, no trafficking or anything like that. That's always, like, a big no-no for sure. But if there's, like, trying to think about it, if there's something where it's like, yeah, that person's might do something, and we just fade to black because it'll be dramatic for the story, is that okay? Or is this let's just not cover that at all? And there's no wrong answers. Don't feel like you can't
No, and
say.
it's hard for me to decide, because there's like severities of it where I'd be okay, but other severities where it's just like, no, I don't want to.
And we kind of had that discussion and kind of like hiccup in Things from the Flood as well, because that was kind of an awkward situation with that character too, where we talked about that and I completely misread what you wanted with the family unit that you had developed, and it was like, oh no, that I went a whole different direction. Let's.
Yeah, I had said the like it's my stepdad who wants me to call him dad, but it was an open family unit with an extra dad, and it seemed like the dad was really into trying to befriend Outro's character for reasons, and my wires crossed, and I thought it was going to be something weird because of the nature of their relationship, and he was like, no, that's not it.
Dramatic.
Yeah, he's like, that's not it at all, and I was like, I misread that, because yeah, I was playing it up for the drama of it, of like this guy crossing a line and it being, you know, a point of contention.
I guess as far as it like goes, I would if it's like a scene of coercion between peers, I guess that's fade to black. But if it's like full on like sexual assault, like
we will never narrate and role play anything like that. Mostly because it breaks TOS on here too. So, but yeah, that'll never happen, and it largely won't. We'll kind of cover over that. So I'll make a note of that. So anything else? You said trafficking and children.
Yeah, nothing else. I mean, I don't have any like hard nose about like gore or torture or anything, but I'm pretty sure going into extensive torture scenes isn't a great idea just in general. So
it's boring.
I'm the same way. It's like, yeah, there's places for it, but we don't need to dwell a whole session.
You're talking physical torture here or emotional torture? There's two.
Physical.
Shay will tell you that there's a lot of emotional torture, but I
also had a character have her eye burned out, so there was that.
I've also had the players run against Drow in, you know, D&D, and I don't play Drow nicely. Drow are mean. They walked in, they got captured and dragged to a torture place, and they had not only her character lose an eye because she got mouthy with the high priestess, but everybody had eggs laid in them by the spiders. So there was that.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
They hatch.
Yeah. They quickly figured out that they had to get them out.
Damn it.
Well,
No chest burster.
yeah, we have the Alien RPG, and we haven't got to play it yet. Yeah, if you want to see people get eggs put in them, consider supporting the Patreon where we do the monthly one shots, and Alien RPG is on the table. Yeah, there's some serious body horror. I've watched people play the Aliens RPG, and combat in that is very fast and deadly. A fully trained soldier character got taken out by a facehugger in what would have been 2 or 3 rounds just because he kept losing the initiative rolls, and as soon as it gets that wing wong in your mouth, it's over.
Game over, man.
Yep.
Game over, man. Nuke it from orbit. All right, so we've covered what everybody is more or less comfortable with, so we will jump in to the creations, and I'm looking for where the...
So this was a thing I kind of learned playing Microscope. Since we went over Hard Nose, are there any like things that people are specifically looking for in the game, like before we go into the actual creation, like any thematic components?
We can talk about that, sure.
Cool to talk about before we go into the like.
Yeah.
Some arson. Some arsony, maybe.
Just burning things down.
Hey, if it's fun, why not?
Arson. No, I'm good with that. Arson. Okay.
To go into
Burn
like
it
a
down.
corporate, like walking into the corporate building, start shooting everything up, and start setting things on fire. Let's burn it up from bottom to top. Then we use we use like a parachute to like glide over to the next building. Watch the fire burning in the back. That's gotta be cool.
Fire starter.
Well, what if there's children in that building? We can't do that then.
They were corporate cronies anyways.
Yeah.
The children.
They're the good kids. They're sheep.
Yeah.
Sheeple.
Well, there was a episode of Vampire the Masquerade that I watched where, yes, they had to actually shake up a Second Inquisition orphanage that was recruiting the children into becoming agents, and one of the players was given the impression that they were going to rescue the orphans, and the Toreador, once she told everybody, to get out and I'll make sure the place is clear, she just blew the whole fucking building up after ushering the children back inside. I was like, it's safe to go back inside. And yeah, so like they do a 10-year time skip, and for the whole 10 years, the Nosferatu who thought they rescued these children was told that all the kids got out just fine. So they were lied to. They end up finding out and being pissed about it, but it was just one of those things where it was like, yeah, you lied to me for all of this time. Where it was like, yeah, you lied to me.
It's okay. They still gain the humanity for it.
Yeah.
I kind of don't really have any. I kind of. It's not really want so much as like a question, I guess. This is sci-fi, but how far sci-fi do we want to go with it? Like, is it going to be full-blown cyberpunk? Is it near future sci-fi? Is it like super futuristic? Or...
I like the idea of a more near future. This would be a
same here with the punk aesthetic. I kind of like the feel of like a near future.
Yeah, this is definitely a 2000XX. So. It's far enough that it's detached from anything current events, because we don't need to bring that into a escapism game. But it's far enough into the future that none of the real world stuff will apply, but close enough that things aren't super different.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be Earth, to be honest with you. It could be like just a fictional world that resembles Earth.
Exactly. or just an
So
alternate.
speaking
Live
of
stream.
current events, should we try to, since it's literally election season, should we try to avoid doing the authority as government? Like state is one of the authority options. Should we avoid that, or should
What do the rest of you think? Because I don't mind it. It's just that we talked about it last week when we were doing like first looks and stuff. It's like I lean more to the right, so I don't have an issue with, as the authority kind of playing that up, but I also have strong opinions of, corruption of the other direction that, people turn a blind eye to. So it might kind of go seesaw really hard with me if we do that.
and I'm like super left, so I could see like, I don't know. I just don't want to get into heated discussions that are unnecessary.
Which is why I prefaced it with, it's so far from the future that nothing currently matters in it. Yeah. I have no issue with the politics itself. I'm one of those people who has a strong enough foundation of let's talk about it without having to scream at each other.
I have a different government.
I'm
There
dead
you go.
middle.
Same with
so
me.
I don't care.
Same with me. I have completely different government from US, so
There you
I'm
go.
just like,
Where are you, Oren?
oh, I come from the Southeast Asia,
Oh.
right above Australia, place called Indonesia.
Oh,
Place
you're
here.
okay.
cool.
Yeah,
We're
it's just
global.
We got one of the other players that frequents our games a lot, Insane Shane. He's Australian, so we got a lot of international players now. We're adding more and more each time. This is pretty cool. Oh, we just lost Outro's camera.
No,
I know.
he's working on it.
Oh no.
Oh no.
oh no.
You've got to delete your not porn file. There's too much going on.
Delete all those furry porn, man.
Not the furries. Not the furries.
But that's the one thing that
Can you guys still hear me at least?
Yes, you're still live.
All right. Well, keep going. I'm going to work on this. I think I unplugged my camera,
Hmm.
Yeah, it's fine. You'll figure it out.
but yeah. I don't know. I guess we just need to not end up butting heads too much.
All right. Well, so we talked about since we talked about government, the first thing we actually get to do is work on the authority. Does everybody have their books open or books available to them?
I do.
So the stuff on the authority starts on page 3 of the book, 6 on the PDF itself. So the first thing we do is we devise what the authority's name is, and we can always put a pin in that and come back. But does anybody have any ideas of what they want this authority to be called?
I feel like deciding the name before deciding the visage. Like, I feel like the visage should be the first thing, not like the last thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the name and description are the last things that come into this.
It's interesting that they put it up front, but
Yeah.
name and description. What it says is the name is the duh of the authority, and the description is just a sentence or two about what this thing is. Although this comes first on the dystopia sheet for ease of reference during play, you can hold off naming the authority until later, once you know it better. So we don't need to. We can pin that and move on to deciding what the authority's vice is. Its underlying motivation, the root of all the fucked up shit that it does. And we have choices from absolutism. The authority knows the way things ought to be done, and it can't fucking stand for anything to even be the slightest bit out of place. It's driven by an obsessive need for its rules to be followed exactly. Another option is fear. Most bullies do what they do because they're afraid of other people having power over them. The authority is full of bluster, but at its base, it's just a scared little kid. Option 3 is greed. The authority is driven, birds, by an insatiable hunger that it can't deny. Most of the time, it's out of for money, but it could be obsessed with power, sex, or anything else you can think of. Option 4 is sadism. A sadistic authority gets off on causing pain, physical, psychological, or both. And the last option is utopianism. A utopian authority thinks it knows what's best for you, and it really believes whatever fucked up scheme it has will make the world a better place. Does anything immediately jump out?
I lean really strongly to the last two.
Yeah, same. Because
last
fear and
Last one for me.
Sadistic utopia?
yeah, because fear and greed is I've seen that a lot. So I'm just like, it's it's not as much fun as the last two.
Sadistic utopia. Boy, all right.
What were the? I'm sorry, I had to find the PDF again.
That's okay. What do you need?
What were the options?
Absolutism. The authority knows the way things should be done. It's driven by an obsessive need for rules to be followed. Fear. It's just a big bully. Greed is, of course, driven by power, sex, money, or anything else it wants to have a main control over. Sadism is gets off on causing pain, physical, psychological, or both. And then utopianism, where it thinks it knows what's best for you and genuinely believes that whatever shitty thing it's doing is going to make the world a better place. We seem to have a strong leaning towards mixing sadism and utopianism. So having just a sick and twisted utopia.
I'm kind of already playing a couple games where utopianism being messed up is a thing, so I'm kind of towards that. The sadism and greed one would be mixing those would be fucking scary.
I can get behind greed and sadism, or just greed or just sadism, because really,
we could have
need to pick one, and then it can have traits of the others.
Yeah.
As well.
So we could have
cool
we could have a corporate dystopia that has sadistic tendencies. Because I know you were interested in going down that corporate route too. Outro.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking I have an idea, a full concept, but I don't really want to present it because I don't want to be here's all this stuff. But at the same rate, I kind of really liked sadism or utopianism with humanity, and it was a corporate, and humanity being the problem would be the corporation is trying to dumb down or demoralize people to a point where they can't fight against the corporate oppression.
Idiocracy. I like it.
Yeah, a little bit like an idiocracy.
All right. Hey, so Fab, you just came back. We've been bouncing the ideas between sadism.
I can hear you wherever I go.
Oh, excellent. So I don't need to recap you then.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on the greed corporate with some sadism?
Can we make sadism the focus then?
Everybody seems to be keen on sadism, so do we want to just make that the highlight?
Well, yeah. I mean, what was you said before, you told me before last week you had kind of an idea where you wanted to go with story, what kind of stories you liked to do?
I don't really get to have an ultimate to say on this, even as the authority.
Yeah, but you still have an an opinion that's equally valid.
I like every option on here. Sadism kind of falls into and you'll have to forgive me because I have the memory of a goldfish. Sadism kind of falls into what I remember us talking about anyways, where it's that it would have been like a mix of sadism and absolutism, where it is what we say goes, and if you don't like it, they have the people who will drag you off and take you to the re-education camps. And you could do sadism, kind of bouncing off of your idea, Outro, where a corporation is trying to weed out the undesirables, and we'll use the term undesirables instead of as a blanket term for whatever problems we decide the victim will be. But they'll weed out the undesirables through whatever product they're shilling or whatever awful thing they're doing. I like that idea, but sadism seems to be the strong contender right now. Are we all in agreement there?
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like it would be a good aspect. I don't know, because I don't know enough about this game, so I don't know how well it would do as a main focus or not. But definitely a primary aspect.
Well, I guess in practice we can, like, if we're going to build the actual authority, we can lean it into it, and if it ends up being a problem, we can lean into something else.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty. So we're gonna pin down sadism for right now, with an undertone of greed. The next thing we focus on is the victim. So the victim is the thing that the authority is trying to, is killing off, consuming, ruining, perverting, or feeding upon. Of our options, we have freedom, history, humanity, nature, and progress. And I'll go ahead and go over each of them like I did with the vices. Freedom of choice, speech, religion, the press, movement, all of these things are anathema to the authority. For history, this is the kind of authority who publishes history books that say America was this big, empty wasteland waiting for white people to come and build strip malls. Yeah. Humanity. It chews up people somehow, kills them, shreds their sanity, enslaves them, and so on. I see that leading into Outro's idea pretty hard there. Nature. The authority commits crimes against nature, the world, animals, plants, and natural processes. And lastly is progress. The authority wants or prevents social change or stops technology from getting out of its hands. Maybe the wrong people are getting away with kissing each other, or the authority has wigged out that people are able to edit their own genes.
As I lean towards humanity. Progress could work too.
Mm-hmm.
If we leaned more on greed, progress would be cool too. Like, they kind of just, like, because of their greed, they're keeping the world from progressing technologically. It's kind of like oil. Like, because of oil greed, we're prevented from, like, making bigger leaps with renewable resources and stuff like that.
Yeah. As we do in segueing away from the topics that we're working on, I know oil is like the huge talking point of how fucked up our society is right now. But I took a economics history class a few semesters ago, and there are actually some fucked up things that we do for oil. But there are actually even worse ones, like the batteries that go into cell phones and stuff. There is a really, really horrible industry of how we mine and pay the people who dig up the material that's used for those, and it's like the cost of the material is so much more than like all of the drums of oil that we use on a yearly basis. And basically people have to go in and mine it out literally by hand because there's so little of it that's needed, and it's so valuable, and it's so hard to mine that you can't use tools. So we basically just have people digging them out and paying them very little and very poorly. But a lot of times one of the like harder warming stories was, basically one of these villages figured out that they could, basically take care of themselves by not having the European/American middleman, and they started, making their little village a lot better because they were directly selling everything they were digging up. And I was like, oh, that's nice that somebody was able to get from under the boot. That's all.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm like, it doesn't make anything better, but it's nice that some people can get from under it. What are we thinking then? Freedom, history, humanity, nature, progress?
I have something in mind for history and progress. I have like this idea of like corporation who made up this history that just it's like it's making people believe that everything was great because they're there. Even way long before they were there used to be this kind of people who comes, or maybe who just forms up and start making things better, and then they're also the one that's control what needs to be progressed and what not needs to be progressed. And people just think that that's why they're in control, because they've been around for so long. They've been keeping us safe or keeping us
the corporation that's so ingrained into
so
society.
So would it be like a media? Would it be like a media corporation?
It could be like a media. It could be like resources too.
What if it's? It could be like the Shadowrun type one, where it's the corps that run everything from the media to the police, and it, like Ored says, they have control of the progress because they're the ones making it. And, eventually, since they're the authority, they're like, well, we've always been here. Who's gonna tell you differently? Nobody was around 100 years ago to say otherwise.
Yeah.
So like a conglomerate.
Yeah.
Mm. I like how someone mentioned Disney, and I'm like, oh shit, you're right.
Disney.
Like
It's Disney. Okay.
It's Disney.
all of the security forces have these horrifying round headpieces on top of their helmets. They're just these black round discs, and nobody knows what they mean anymore, but it's part of their helmet.
I went to America for my first and only time, and it was to Florida, and I never want to see Mickey Mouse ever again.
So definitely make Mickey Mouse the head authority. All right.
Yeah, that's how you get it, Mickey.
It's just a giant mutant mouse.
It's just a giant mutant mouse.
Humanity and progress are most interesting out of all this.
And we can tie the history into the humanity part too. So how do we want humanity to figure in? I mean, it's a sadistic society, so it's not going to be hard. But what would be our focus on that?
I mean, there's easy outs and there's more complicated ones. Like they're putting drugs in the water supply, man. But there could be other things. I don't know. Like
my favorite bit from the humanity bit is shreds their sanity.
Yeah, it could be like what's it called? What is the?
I mean, the re-education idea you mentioned before, maybe, and then the I guess I don't know, their method of enslavement or
re-education,
like subliminal brainwashing in like TV programming and stuff.
It's Disney.
It's Disney.
Oh, humanity can also ties in with history, because here's the thing that I find pretty recently. People wouldn't do any kinds of progress or do anything if it's breaking their tradition. And those humanity can ties in with the tradition. Like, they're dragging people away. It's okay. It's the tradition. They drag people away because they're dangerous. We just have to believe.
They've always dragged people away. This is what's best for us. Oh my goodness, that's good.
Yeah, they're the bad people.
Yeah,
That
those
they're
are the
bad people.
exactly. They're willing to overlook it because they're told those are the bad people, and
So
And it's a
here's, I mean,
tradition.
this may
It's a
be
tradition.
jumping. This may be jumping ahead, but are we people who have already been dragged away, or are we kids that still haven't been dragged away?
Maybe our parents were dragged away, or maybe we were like, if we're the rich kids, we've probably seen it, and we probably like feels like there's something wrong with this. It's not all right, and we know it's fucked up because we just saw it. Our parents might be like, oh, it's for the best and all that, but you know, kids sometimes have to rebels because we just, yeah.
Nah, man, we're the ones who turned the TV off.
We're the ones who turn the TV off. We socialize out here. We don't play video games, I guess.
yeah.
What the fuck's wrong with this?
I mean, they turn our video games into propaganda.
Yeah, I like that though. I like that idea. Are we all on the same page for that one? Do we like that idea of merging history and humanity, and it is just everybody's psychologically conditioned through the sadism that these people are being erased from history and taken off to these places, and everybody just turns a blind eye to it because you're conditioned to accept that traditionally these bad people will get taken away. It's would it be like a boogeyman sort of thing, like you need to behave and not do any things, or you know the thought police will come and get you for thinking about doing something awful?
So if we're sticking with it being a corporate, I want to know like what they're gaining from it. Is it like if it's a corporate that's taking away humanity by taking people away,
I mean,
the bad people,
we already
are
know,
they like
right?
taking them to work? Is it like the
I had the
privatized prison thing?
I had
Or,
a thought slash idea that everybody belongs to this corporation. One of the main things you guys could be doing to rebelling is rejecting your like work designation IDs instead of, you know, having names. It's like, you know, it's like what's your number? You know, you guys have numbers, you don't have names. So, you know, one of the things of defying is like, no, my name is John. I don't have a number. I'm not a number. I'm a person.
I am number
so
John.
on our permanent record, would we put our number or would we put the name that we go by?
Well, do
Because
we?
the permanent record's the character sheet. for
Yeah.
this,
Does
right?
everybody like that idea of being corporate numbers and then, you know, devising your own identities to break away from this psychological impact of it?
I'm into it. Just like
And you were asking what they gain from it. We already know. Vice, sadism. They like it.
They
like
like
us
it.
being-
Yeah.
And greed too.
Yeah.
Greed too, because they gain the power. Like maybe all the numbers, the workers are told to be pacifists. They're not supposed to going against the authority or planning or scheming or even think about, hey, what if we just, you know, what if we get like a promotion or something? Like if they rebel a little, they just gonna take us away because they want to be in control. They want to point out, hey, you're gonna be a minor and that's it.
Yeah.
Can't be anything else.
Yeah, you were born into this category because it's tradition. Your family were of the mining lot number, so you're always going to be in that mining lot number. And when you're assigned your, you know, partner, you know, you two will make a mining baby, and that mining baby will always be a miner. Or, you know, you were assigned to admin and you're going to mate with somebody who's part of admin and you will always be an admin. You know, there's the IT people who will always, you know, bear IT children, and, you know, qualifications be damned, you'll learn how to be an IT person and that's your job forever.
Can be pretty scary too.
They're
Like
so bad at it.
Yeah. But, you know, that could be the hang up of progress too, because you see that in things like 40K where it's just, you know, your whole you don't break outside of what your progress or what your assignment is, and whether you're good at it or not, your family, you know, you were born on this countryside spaceship, and you don't know anything other than the cannon bay of this one particular thing, and your family was born and raised to work on making sure that this one cannon on this spaceship worked, and you will live and die servicing that cannon or making the ammunition for that cannon, and that's all you do. You'll have whole clans and societies built around maintaining a cannon, and that's it.
You might make a weapon that someday is gonna be the one killing your people too, and you just can't do anything about it. You can't
do
speak
anything
up
I mean, I'm
about
doing
it.
that in real life, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did it. Oh,
Yeah, we went over that they make Doom bots, so
Yeah.
It's
I'm
they
from
have
Latveria.
they have no
Yeah.
use for the cannon. They just wanted to make it.
yeah.
But that means we can turn the cannon around and use it against them.
Yep,
They don't
for
We
the,
already get-
for the Emperor.
We already shipped the cannons to America.
like
Whoa.
all the way up, like all the way up to the top. They're like, why are we making this? I don't know. Just do.
Yeah, nope. Well, first of all, that person who said why just got dragged off, and then the other people are just like, all right, back to work, break's over. And then one person's like, what's a break? And then he gets dragged off. Yeah. All right, so I like it.
The attitude gets dragged away. That's fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what a
Everybody
break
who
is.
just has a question mark at the end of whatever statement they're supposed to be saying just gets dragged off.
Oh.
So
Do we know where they get dragged off to, or do they just get dragged off?
they would get dragged off to the re-education places. Sometimes you may never see them again. Sometimes you may see them, after a month, and they're a completely different person.
You know what would be interesting if in the game we find out that they were trying to make they're trying to make this research where people just lose their common sense, and we're just gonna be turned into a hive mind because they're just progressing through it.
Don't write that.
I don't
That's
know.
fucking terrifying. Don't write it.
I'm writing this down. Hi,
That's just been developed.
I'm just really excited that Mean Girls is one of the films that inspired this game.
That's awesome.
That's exciting me.
You know what fucked me up? I was trying to read that. I was like, what the heck?
All right, so we segue into the visage now. The visage is the form the authority takes. The face it wears that tells you what you need to do, or the face it wears that tells you what you need to attack and how to do it directly. I can't read this sometimes because sentences,
corporate.
words.
We all know it's corporate.
Yeah. Choose one of the following. So there's 5 options here. Corporate, which I think we've pretty much zeroed in on. Personal, religious, state, or systemic. Corporate, of course, is the authority is a business, big or small. Wow, could you imagine small business being like that? Mom and pop shops taking over the world.
This is a side road gas station.
Yep.
No. It's if you run it in a small town. The mom and pop shop is the terrifying thing there.
That's fair. I mean, they're the only suppliers of whatever goods you need in this isolated town. Yeah, of course. They could be anything from a street gang to an interdimensional megacorp. Wow, Half-Life. Okay. Whatever the scale, it's got one reason for being. Make it for $1 and sell it for $2. That's bad business right there. You make it for a penny and sell it for $2. Personal, it's just one guy. Someone with personal magnetism and a vision. Fucking
It
Cave
could still
Johnson.
be our weird ghost,
It could be the weird
a
ghost.
weird country ghost.
Yeah, you
I
you
feel
find
like
it.
he's on our side.
Yeah, he's supposed to be.
Yeah,
on
that's
your
what he wants you to think.
Fuck.
That sounds like V for Vendetta.
Yeah. Religious. It has a direct line to God or Heinlein or Adam Smith or whoever. The authority operates on unquestioned received wisdom and sees disagreement as a moral failing.
That would fit. That would play well with either corporate or the systemic one.
Yeah.
Because religious really it ties in with history and tradition, because people know how sensitive religious is, and sometimes we got to trouble with like, hey, do we want to progress? No, we can't progress to that because our religion
Doesn't
ban
want
that.
that.
That doesn't want that.
There's a few further on which could be more applicable.
Yeah.
Systemic.
That's religion's kind of a weird thing because a lot of the greatest scientists and researchers have been very religious.
Are still religious. Yeah.
Maybe not religious then.
Yeah, because like it's a gray area for me too, where it's like I have my own personal beefs with it, but in the end, I don't see anything wrong with it because it's like Shay said, some of the best minds that we have currently are still very religious people, and their motivations for making that progress are like surprisingly religious founded. It's life is always one of those things where it's like you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, because it's like there's always that shitty person who's going to ruin everything, no matter what it is. There's a reason why furries get such a bad rap. Some shitty person ruined it for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we made that joke earlier, so I just had to bring it back up.
It's not to like discount it because there have been moments throughout history where they're like, oh, let's just burn all this literature because that can make people think and we need to control them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like whoever controls the religion is the enemy, not the religion itself.
Mm-hmm. Because the movie Dogma touches on that too. Because Chris Rock played an apostle, and he was very outspoken about how organized religion was the failing of religion. And it's like Jesus never said any of this shit that people are spouting nowadays. It's like organized religion is the problem. Humans are corruptible, and it takes one bad apple to completely screw up the message of somebody who actually had good intentions. And it's true, because you see that through history. We had a lot of really fucked up popes who derailed what the actual message was, and now we kind of have it where things are now. Like, yeah, we kind of have a pretty chill pope right now, where he's just like, oh, yeah, you guys just live your life. You're not hurting anyone. That's cool. I like it. Be excellent to each other. And it's like, cool. We need more people like you.
That's really fucked up one.
Yeah. I mean, there was a time where like one pope during the Crusades was like, why don't we just sell children into slavery? They're trying to go help, boost Crusader morale. So why don't we put them in a boat and go sell them to these, barbarians over here instead? And it's like, wait, what?
Finally, someone realized this is fucked up.
Yeah, it's like somebody's like, wait, hold on, where are the kids? They got on that boat with that guy. It's like, who was watching them? Nobody now.
That guy, apparently.
That guy. He said he was trustworthy. He said he was a pope.
Yeah. Who cares about the children? Let's just do the fucking crusade.
Somebody think of the children. State is, of course, the obvious one. The authority is the group of bandits you've chosen to let lead you slowly, the holder of legitimate power. So I think this is the one we all largely want to avoid because it's a bit too on the nose. So we're just going to segue into systemic. A process, a culture, a civilian paranoia, a life-defining test regime, etc. Since it's got no face to spit in and no headquarters to stink bomb, the authority can be very difficult to directly confront.
Has anyone read The Lottery?
Yes.
I have.
It is terrible. It is the stupidest short story I've ever read.
Fallout does
But that's systemic.
Fallout does a better version of it, and it's so much more fucked up. There's a vault in the Fallout franchise where the overseer of the vault is selected as a needed sacrifice to keep the power going, and basically over time they decide that they're going to vote on who will become the overseer, and it led into causing political factions where everybody's trying to vie to get somebody else elected instead of trying to get yourself elected. And you would read these logs or hear audio entries of all these people doing horrible things to make sure their loved ones didn't get picked. And when it got down to like the last 5 people in the vault, they finally said, enough's enough. We're not going to pick anyone. Go ahead and just kill everybody. We don't want to live like this anymore. And so when it came time to voting and they stood up to the computer that was handling all of the things, it's like, congratulations, you won. You figured out that this was a bad thing to do and stood up for yourselves. The doors to the vault will open and you're all free to leave. And
I think that's from Fallout New Vegas, wasn't
yeah,
it?
Yeah, it was New Vegas.
Oh
And everybody
my God,
and everybody just has the stunned Pikachu face, and four of the 5 are like, I can't live like this knowing what we did. We need to just, kill ourselves because going on is awful. And one person is like, no, people need to know the fucked up shit that we just did. And so 4 out of the 5 people just end themselves, and the last one, is presumably walks out to go, tell the fucked up thing that happened to them. But it's like, a vault of like 200 to 400 people all systematically killed each other off over time, all for the experiment to see how long it would take for people to stand up for themselves and not put up with a thing they knew was wrong. And you hear all of the horrible things, like they talk one wife into, having sex with everybody to keep her husband from being voted on. And after she has sex with everybody, her husband still gets picked. And so then she goes to murder all of the people that were part of this this thing that happened to her. And then she's like, I'm gonna just go ahead and nominate myself the next year because I'm, a bad person who did this thing and I want to just be with my husband. And this all sucks. Yeah, systemic. It's kind of awful because you can't punch a face of society.
They can pass in with corporate.
I mean, you can. You just have to punch a lot of faces.
It's true.
All the faces.
Do we
I
have
think there's a word for that. Genocide.
Genocide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I don't know, the whole thing about like I don't know, like the lottery seemed kind of worse to me because that's like they don't even know why they're doing it; they're just doing it.
I haven't read that.
Don't read it; it's awful.
Yeah, from the title already, I'm like, and not sure I'm gonna read that anytime soon.
Every year, a village selects someone and they murder them ritualistically.
Yeah, it's the reverse of the Fallout one, where they do it because they've done it for so long and they don't understand why they're getting killed. I like the Fallout one because it's just like when it finally dawns on them that they could have not done it to each other, everybody's just like, nope, can't live like this.
Is the Fallout one could also be like corporate thing too? Because
Oh, absolutely, because it's a vault experiment.
yeah, a vault experiment. The vault is literally just a bunch of experiments being done in different vaults. Like the one vault where it's like one guy and then the rest of the members are just girls.
Yep. Yeah, that was that one, and then the flip of it where it's one girl and all guys, and it's like, both of these were resounding failures. It's like, I wonder why.
What about the guy in the puppets?
Yeah, the guy, I like that in Fallout 4 they reference him as like a raider boogeyman, where you can hear conversations. They're like, yeah, it was just one man and a puppet, and he killed all the raiders in the camp. All you could hear was his laughter. And I was like, oh.
I mean, it will make sense with the precedent set by every vault dweller we play.
It's true. Basically, yeah. That's just us.
Anywho, back to track.
I think we largely locked in corporate before we got here. Did we want to mix any other aspects into it?
Systemic. Yeah,
Corporate was systemic. Yeah, because corporate's taken over society, so yeah, that works.
It reminds me of the Outer Worlds.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Where each little like branch of corporation is, not a conglomerate, but a offshoot of a big corporation that's just like, yep, you work until you die, and you're only allowed to eat this awful salt tuna thing that's not actually made of tuna.
And even if you die, you gotta make you still gotta make money. Or wait,
we gotta
it's
make
like
money off of your body after you're dead.
Yeah.
Your family has to pay your grave dues every year to keep your body in that grave. And it was I felt pretty reviled playing that game. It was like, oh, that's just awful and shitty. Well, with that one, we go on to need. For characters to be interesting, they must want things. The authority is a character, and its need is what it wants. The need is a sentence or two that says what the authority desires and what it would do to the world if the youthful, if the YOs, that's you guys, I think it's youthful something.
Yeah,
something.
youthful offenders.
Youthful offenders. Thank you. I was looking for the O word, and I was like, oppressors. It's like that's not right. The
youthful oppressors.
Yeah.
Woo!
The youthful offenders. That the youthful offenders weren't there to stop. It's important that this is not something passive. Things will stay like they are is a terrible need, but it's one that I see people try to pass off on all the time. So yeah, let's not keep it boring. We need to think big, dramatic. So we need a sentence or two to describe what our sadistic, greedy, progress focused, humanity / history crushing corporate systemic corporation is after.
They will become the Hive.
Hold on, I'm gonna write that down. We will become the Hive.
What?
We will become the Hive. What else?
They want to turn us into a hive mind.
That's just end of Evangelion.
Yeah,
So
but we
I
didn't
thought
pick
that was
religious. I liked it, but we didn't pick religious, so it can't be end of Evangelion. What else? We need to expand on that a little more.
Or a different one.
Or a different one. We need to make sure we're applying all of those aspects, though.
I think they want complacency. They want to be able to do whatever they want without having people question it.
I don't know. I mean, if they're sadistic, they're gonna want people. I don't know. I kind of feel like they would want people to fight back so they could be sadistic.
I got something. It's something along the line of like, you don't decide what you want, what you become, what you need. We say what you need, what you become, and yeah, stuff like that.
Don't decide what wants. We decide what you need. I like that. And you put a real emphasis on want versus need. So like if this was written out, it would be written out, you don't decide what you want, we decide what you need. And both want and need would be capitalized. You don't decide what you want, we decide what you need.
If you want something and it's something that you don't need, you might be dragged away because that's not what we decide for you to need.
Yeah. You don't get to have wants in this society. There are needs in place, and your number dictates the level of need. And outro, please. I know you said you didn't want to go into the communism route, so if that gets a little too communism, we can adjust it.
No, that's all right.
Okay, because it feels very Spartan at the same time, where it was like you don't need all this frivolous extra stuff. You're only getting what you need to do your job as a drone. You're drones. You you're drones. You make drones. You are drones.
it could be like this. Like you can only be minors because you come from a minor family. So if you want to become something else, you're not allowed to because you just you come from a minus family. So yeah, and for like food resources, they also give it to you, offer it to you, but you can't trade it off. Like the security guards gets burger while we get hot dogs, but I want burgers.
Yeah.
It was like, no, you already got your food. You can't trade it off with someone else.
Yep.
It's what you need
Yeah.
because you are minors, and it's nutritious for the minors.
And a sadistic form of control could be oh no, we have food shortages on miners' hot dogs while the security guards are sitting around eating their burgers. And they're like, well, can't we have burgers too? And they're like, no, you don't get burgers. You have to wait.
Get dragged away.
Yeah, it's like one, drag him away for asking for a burger, and two, don't be like the dissident asking for burgers. You know that you eat hot dogs, and when hot dogs are available, you'll have hot dogs.
Don't act like homeless. You guys got food.
Yeah, you have food. It's just not available to you. You should work harder so that you could get food. Yeah, that could be a thing too. It's never the corporate's fault. It's not a food shortage. It's you didn't meet your quota to get enough food for everyone. So, if you worked harder, you would have more food. There's always that carrot on the stick of if you work harder and you get what we need done, next month there will probably be more food for you.
Now what happens when that mine runs out and they hand in a report that there's nothing left to mine?
You don't want to hand in that report.
You don't want to be the person who hands in that report, and then you guys get I imagine that they would get relocated. I think going off of like shout out to Bag of Bones, they build these mining places with the expectation of them being long term, and they probably are like, oh well, that one's done, so pack your shit up. We're gonna go on to the next one and exploit that resource until it dries up. Like I don't think they're like, oh, this mine is empty. Kill everyone in the mine and close it off. That would be that'd be oddly wasteful.
Were they just like abandon all support of the place? It's just like, yeah, you ran out of mine stuff. Now, bye. We're pulling out all of our funding and whatever.
All the stuff except electricity for cameras.
Ooh, hey, that's not bad because you might have little pockets where they're like, don't be like mining camp 41. They ran out of work to do, and so we had to stop helping them. If you guys do your work and keep up quotas, you'll keep having everything you need. Where they're, unloved dissidents who don't get the support and nurturing of, what you need. Like that.
What if we said it like, I'm not sure if we want it to be like a big world kind of like maybe multidimensional or maybe planet stuff, like galaxy stuff, where it's like, okay, once the mine is dried up, they're going to select a few people who's going to like, all right, you can continue working, or you're gonna be abandoned here, or you just left behind and you're just you're just like considered like maybe just they're left off by themselves, and
they become an undesirable cast. Their numbers get set to 0, and so they're not able to work anywhere else, and so
or maybe
they become
like their mining place get turned into like a facility, but like for the corporation to test out their guns and stuff like that, and nobody knows about it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, because nobody's going to ask what happened to mining camp 42. You're just going to know that it's like, oh, mining camp 42 ran out of resources, and you'll be like, oh, that sucks. and then you move on with your day. But Mining Camp 42 is still there, except now whatever sadistic progress the corporation is trying to do, Mining Camp 42 is now Test Site 42.
I mean, they did make a mine, so there's like tunnels deep down underground somewhere away from the society. So there's nowhere for you to go. There's only one way out from the bottom of from underground.
There's nowhere to go. So the authority has it locked in, and you are now Test Site 42 for whatever fucked up thing they are working on.
And you've
all in the tunnels.
Yeah, they just let a Minotaur loose. It's fine.
And they still set up
enhanced
cameras.
Minotaur, and they still have cameras.
Disney.
Yeah, it's just Disney. A genetically enhanced Mouseator. It's fine.
They get goofy as the thing.
Mickey doesn't want to be fed. Mickey wants to hunt.
What, no?
Oh, yuck!
Oh God! Final boss is just Mickey, a mutant Mickey.
You enter a dark cave, and in the distance you hear.
Hiya, folks. Hope you're ready for a good time.
I'm hungry and I need some meals.
Bring up those children.
No children trafficking.
Oh yeah.
Bring
This
up
isn't
those
this isn't
people.
children trafficking. These children are food.
It was specifically for like sexual purposes.
Yeah, no,
okay.
these children are gonna get eaten. That's not. There's nothing sexual about Mickey.
There are some people who
You're
find
okay with trafficking for using human children as pinkies for a giant mutant mouse.
But they're not being trafficked. They're trapped in. They're not going anywhere. They're exactly where they need to be.
They're just left behind.
Yeah, they're exactly. It's fine.
It's not trafficking if they already belong to him.
Yeah. Oh my god, I just
Some like weird, like I'm okay with this, but not this.
Yeah, no. Remember, I'm playing the
I mean,
Authority. I have to be
it
okay
was-
with all the fucked up shit.
I don't mean
Yeah.
you.
can I just imagine like you're trying to run away from a monster, and the only way you know it's coming is it's just Mickey Mouse Clubhouse song of like a distant hot dog and hot dog and
All you're hearing is the hot dog song. Oh no, it's come full circle because that's what the miners have to eat. And they're like, I'm so hungry, and you just hear in the distance, hot diggity dog, and they're like, oh no, run.
They're not giving out hot dogs. We're the hot dogs.
And it's like 37, don't go that way, but they're offering us hot dogs. And he rounds the corner, and you just hear the scream as he gets eaten. Yep. Oh
Just
god,
like
that's
a
awful.
Blood splatter against the wall.
Yep.
Were we going to take a break or no?
Yeah, we can. Do you need it right now, or can you hold for like 15?
No, that's cool. That's
All
fine.
right. Yeah, we also for you too, since you're newish. Every hour and a half, we try and have a break. We usually do 3-hour segments for these games, so halfway point, we'll try and break for bathrooms, drinks, all that stuff. But of course, we're all adults, so if you need to get up for any reason, it's perfectly fine if you have to get up before that.
I may get up, but I can still hear you all.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. So that's all kosher. But thank you for reminding me because I wasn't watching the clock at that moment. But we still have like 15 before we can take a break.
One more question.
Yes.
If everyone has numbers, who is number one?
There is no number one. I feel like these numbers probably range in like 7 digits. So
Like
Yeah.
So like number one as like the person, like is like the shorter your number, like how much more in control of the system you are.
maybe it's decided by the corporate thing. Like the number one is the head corporate, and it's
Yeah.
always the head corporate.
Yeah, that is how it would be, and I figure each corporate
The
cast.
board is the single digit.
Yeah, like your job determines what your serial numbers are. So they would probably work in, like I said, 7 digits, but important people will have less digits, and least important people will have all 7. So a miner is never going to be number 1, but if he's, number, what is it? I gotta think of my. And you don't even work in those numbers. It is, your number is 0, 7, 5, 4, 3, 8, 2.
The numbers can also be like determines if you're a miner, if you're like a security, because like the security will of course have like number 5 maybe in their digits, like in their second digit or the first digit, and the corporate one will going to have number 2 in their digit because corporate people, and there's going to be the top chief of it who have like number 1 in their first digit.
And you don't want a 0 in your first digit, because like I said, when the mining camp runs out, your serial number drops to 0, and so if you're a 0, you're a 0. Zeros are the undesirables, and those people disappear.
Zeros are the people with the targets on their backs.
And ooh, I like that. Phantos 80 has a good idea. It's 00 dash and then numbers, and the first 2 digits determines your occupation. So it ties in with what Oren says. Security guys have a 5 that sets them as a security. A corporate has a 1, and that's how you determine what your caste is. So if you're a 00, you don't have a caste. You don't exist. You're nothing. And everybody's number. If you're zeroed, you're zeroed out. But if you're 01, you're some kind of admin staff. 02, you're security. 03, you're not
re-education.
Not even re-education. You could just be education, because they wouldn't call it re-education. You could be service or something. But yeah, we've got that in the works, and I can work on that. But I like that, Phantos. That's good. The 00's dash determines designation. I'll write that down. But I like it. We do need to circle back and determine what the authority's name is. So, name and description. Are we just making
what are they a corporation of? Like, what are
we just making it Disney?
Nah, we're gonna get flagged by Disney at this point.
Oh God,
right.
We've said their names so much they're gonna find us.
We're gonna get missing the next day.
Michael Eisner's gonna hunt me down. Oh no.
I'm not ready to get hunted down by Donald Trump.
Come get me, Mickey. Come get me.
Challenge accepted. Let's go. What do we want to call the authority then?
I don't know.
Some good music though.
Yeah. Jamming. I don't have a good name, so I'm just like rolling with it.
Everybody be grateful for the use of Friend Computer. Yeah, it is an idea pitched by Friend Computer, who is always right.
Should we just name the corporation Friend Computer?
That's a bit too on the nose, though. We could call it Sunshine Industries.
Why do you always call things Sunshine Industries?
Because you just shut up and eat your vanilla ice cream.
No. I eat my own vanilla ice cream.
Bright Corpse?
Bright Corpse.
Bright Corpse for the brighter future.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Bright Corpse for a brighter future. Anybody? Because it's not bright. It's not bright at all. Any
Nothing
objections?
Bright about any of this? Nah, I'm fine with it.
Bright Corpse for a brighter future.
I just like bright.
Hmm.
Just bright.
Bright can also means that, yeah, Everything is on point. It's so bright you can't see any shadows.
You
There's no,
can't. Yeah.
there's nothing to assume. There's nothing to like think about. So everything is there. All you need to do is just do it.
I love it. I love it. That is good. All right. So we've decided what our authority is now. Bright Corp for a brighter future. I'm going to add that to the overlay too. That's awesome. So we have all of that. You know what the authority looks like, who it's messing with, and why. Now it's time to figure out what the world it's running is like. You're going to give the game a rating, create some sci-fi stuff that makes the world different, figure out what's uniting the youthful offenders, and then brainstorm and assign some character concepts. What kind of game do you want to have? What should be in it, and what shouldn't? Sometimes you're in the mood for a profanity-laced trip through ultraviolence, and sometimes you want something light and funny. Decide on a rating for the game. For example, you might use your country's film board rating, its video game rating, or its television rating. Pick the system and rating. So basically, does everybody know what the American film rating is? The like G to NC-17?
Yeah.
Oren and Fab, do you guys know that? Because I know you guys aren't in America.
I think so.
So everything's the American film rating goes from G, PG, PG-13, R, NC-17. On paper, it doesn't make any sense when I say it out loud, but G is general audience, so it's designed for children to be able to watch.
Everything.
Yeah, it's everyone. It's normally marketed towards children's movies, things that little kids can watch and keep their entertainment, and parents don't have to be worried about them seeing something negative in it. PG is parental guidance suggested, so it might have some adult humor that's cleverly veiled towards adults so that they don't get bored watching the kid movie. So it's the casual poop joke or the casual sex reference in a cartoon that only the parents will get. The kid, it'll go right over the kid's head. They won't see it, they won't know it, but the adult who has to sit and watch My Little Pony with their child, goes, "Ha, that's funny, that's good. How'd they get that in there without anyone noticing?" It's that. That's PG. PG-13 is parental guidance suggested for anyone under the age of 13. It is, if you're 13, you're mature enough to watch this. They're going to use the occasional profanity. You might hear damn, you might hear hell, but you won't hear any of the bad profanity like shit and fuck and, things like that. There'll be kissing and general, mild sexual references without, seeing people have, movie sex. Rated R is all of the, hardcore violence, hardcore swearing, hardcore sexual references of, Hollywood.
But still no sex.
Yeah, but it's Hollywood sex, so they'll be kissing a lot, they'll be pulling off each other's clothes, but the camera will always be perfectly angled so that it doesn't show anything. The violence, you'll see, people getting shot and people dying. There's explosions, but it's not a gore fest. You won't see, people getting mutilated or thrown up on bodies. NC-17 is the least used, but it is anyone who's under the age of 18 is not allowed to be in the theater to see it. That's where your pornography, that's where your gore, that's where your, really demented stuff can be shown. It generally doesn't even make it to theaters, and it's
in
usually
the 90s. It used to be X-rated, not
rated
NC-17.
Yeah, rated X, and it is just that beyond rated R rating of sometimes something will make it to the movie theaters with an NC-17, but it's very rare and usually got boycotted by the Angry Mothers of America or something else that kept it from getting to where it needed to be.
I found a parody of all these, and NC-17. Nobody can see these movies. NC-17 films may contain graphic blah 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 blah. Theaters may only admit very mature individuals, such as 17-year-olds.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So there you go. So what kind of rating, if that's all things considered, would you guys want this to be?
I'm okay with R.
Is anyone bold enough to say G?
No.
R.
R.
Okay.
Yeah, R is fine.
So we can do the Hollywood sex and violence without any full penetration.
No
shots.
more than 2 seconds of nipples and no lower body parts exposed.
There you
no blood, but no extensive torture.
All right, that's fair. I like it. Rated R. Some parental guidance is still suggested. All right, cool. Everything is bright, like the fucking lamp on my desk for semi-decent lighting. Yeah, there you go. That's mood right there. So we got
My eyes.
we got our rating, but we are at 1:30, so let's take our break. Usually we run about 5 minutes. I don't care if it runs a little over if you need extra time, but rule of thumb, about 5 minutes. So we'll be back in 5, guys. Stick around.
Sounds good.
Enjoy the Be Right Back screen and some rockin' music. Mics are still live because I can't turn them off on or mute you guys myself since we're still on camera.
But we
here.
can mute ourselves.
Yes, but you can mute yourselves as you leave. I'm going to mute myself because I'm going to be stepping away. So in 5, I'll be back. See you guys soon.
See you soon.
I'm back.
Looks like everybody's back.
I'm back.
So, don't mind me. I'm just finishing up a pretzel. But yeah, it looks like everybody's back. How was the break?
Need more candy.
I did buy a big bag of gummy bears as well earlier today, but I'm doing pretty well about not eating them. Rationing it out appropriately. What are those?
Your gummy bear rations.
Like chocolate croissants? That's awesome.
Mini croissants.
I am a man who enjoys his croissants.
Yeah, but these are terrible.
Oh.
They're just so.
They're just so bad, nobody would want them.
Yeah.
This pretzel's all right.
There's a store in the harbor where they sell Peeps marshmallows and Mike and Ike's.
We have a store like that too. It's just called Walmart.
No, that store is dedicated to them. They're part of the company that makes them.
I know. I was just kidding. There was somebody in another stream, whether it was here or on either outros or somebody's, I forget, but we were talking about Peeps, and they were talking about Peeps like Peeps were this amazing exclusive brand that didn't exist anywhere else outside of their state. And I was the guy who was like, they sell those at Walmart. It was like they're not anything special. It's like, and most of the time they're not very good either. And they're like, what? Blasphemy. I'm like they're just marshmallow.
They're made in Pennsylvania, I believe.
I think
that's where the factory is.
I think you were there for the conversation. I want to say it was Chestnut who was like, Peeps. Peeps are the thing, and you can only find them because they're in Michigan. And Michigan's proximity to Pennsylvania is pretty much right next to it. And boom, we're back. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I now have.
I have a mouthful of sandwich.
I have rum and Pepsi, so your authority is also going to be drunk on power and booze.
Oh fuck, we drinking? Shit.
I mean
I
it's
think
like
if I
what
knew
4
that.
a.m. for you.
Please. It's 5:40.
5:40. Oh, pardon. You'll sleep when you're dead. So yeah, we're drinking, guys. Everybody, get your shots ready. Oh man, what if we put that as like a bit incentive? 100,000 bits. If you put 100,000 bits, everybody takes a shot together on stream.
I can't drink.
Even if it means I have to. Can't drink that much. You can't drink at all?
I mean, I can, but it messes up my medicine.
Oh, well, I mean, I didn't say what the shot was. You could very well fill up a shot of apple juice.
Or a shot of morphine.
That I haven't drank since I started taking this medicine too, so.
Well, I mean, a shot of wheatgrass? Yeah, Nerdfuffle volunteers to suffer in your stead. like a dedicated significant other.
That's so sweet of you, babe.
Yeah. All right. We left off establishing what the name of our authority finally was. And I will go over everything in detail as scribbled on my notes per the rules of this game. Our authority is named BrightCorp for a brighter future. Our game rating is R, so expect some raunchy language and suggestive themes. The motivation for our authority is sadism mixed with greed. The victim of the authority is progress, sprinkled in some history, a little bit of the humanity as well. I'm more than fine touching on all of these elements because they're great. The structure of the authority is a corporate / systemic kind of corruption. And the phrase that best defines what's going on in this society is, you don't decide what you want. We decide what you need. And I did get like a mild chill reading that out loud now that we have like the full face of our oppressive authoritarian regime. So I'm good. I'm good with this. Also, I just had a bit of a connection hiccup. Did look like there was any issues anywhere else?
I
It
haven't
was-
noticed anything.
It was just the briefest thing where both the PDF and the stream health kind of did a dip and then it bounced back. So it looks like we're okay. So next we get into, we did motives. No, we didn't do motives. Oh, wait, I'm too far ahead. Circle it back. Circle it back.
We finished ratings.
I think it's
and now we're-
casting.
Yes, we did the ratings. System of control. Now you come up with systems of control. Each youthful authority creates a science fiction thingy that empowers the authority. Systems of control are what make the world you're playing in different from the one you're living in, which is important. This stuff describes the world, tells you exactly how the authority fucks with you, or fucks with you, the youthful. What did we say it was? Youthful offenders.
Offenders.
Youthful offenders' lives, and serves as a guide and touchstone for detailing the world you play in. Each youthful offender creates only one system of control, and each system of control must be different from the others. If one of the systems of control is removed, which can happen during play, the others still have to make sense for their own. Finally, these systems of control are also part of the endgame scoring mechanic, page 79. When creating systems of control, don't let the authority be totally omnipotent. Create a world with wiggle room for the youthful offenders. This is also a good time to consider what scale the authority is operating on. Is it in control of everything? Is it a clandestine organization? Is it on the run from the law? Systems of control can be technological, radio frequency ID tags implanted subconsciously at birth, or they can be social. Families have been declared illegal by the government. Oh, wow. People,
Dibs on subliminal messaging.
hey, there you go. Buy more beer. People sometimes get stumped when coming up with these. Offer to help out your friends when you see them struggling and ask for help when you're stuck. If someone comes up with a system of control that's really going to ruin the game for you, let them know, and you don't but don't be a prick about it. I'm really glad that that's actually in there. Like, if you guys see anything that comes up that, you know, you're like, oh shit, I don't know about this, it's okay to say it. Like, more games should be like that. It's like, it's okay to speak up if something is bothering you. You don't have to be a jerk about it. Be an adult. I like that. I lost my place going on that rant. Just calling bullshit isn't enough. At least say what you don't like about the idea. Even better, suggest a version of it that preserves the initial idea without fucking up the game for you. Be an adult. If there's something you don't like about it, offer a solution. Can we send this to our politicians?
No.
Like, guys, why is this so easy for a game designer but not easy for real life? It's like, there's
I
something.
mean, that's just another way of saying the like yes and or the no but.
Yeah,
solution,
but that's what I mean. It's like if it's something you don't like, you know, say so, but then offer a workable solution. It's like the meeting halfway without having to ruin it for everyone, including yourself. And it's like, why is that such a weird concept?
I can't send this to my government because their English level is not high enough to actually read this.
Dang. All right. Well, we can get 2 out of 3. So, any ideas for systems of control?
I'm going with subliminal messaging.
Subliminal messaging. Right?
Man, what if the subliminal messaging is also related to like chimes, like the corporation chimes that always rings after or before like a television show?
We made that
designated media watching hour for the general public.
we made that joke earlier about the music that we have here, where there's that shitty chime that starts at the start of every one of these punk songs. It is Bright Corps imposing their authority on top of the music.
They choose the music for you. It's the best.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to this rebellious tune. Ding dong.
Sponsored by Bright Corp.
Yeah, there you go. So subliminal messaging. Anyone else? Here it comes.
Here comes the silence of people thinking.
There it is.
I mean, what would they do as far as re-educating people when they take them away? Like, what happens then?
Well, you tell me. Do you want to put down re-education? And we can figure out what that re-education looks like?
Yeah.
Because that is something we can do.
It could be some type of like crazy tech that they use, or like method that's futuristic, or
Mm-hmm.
There's no war in Basingse. There's no war in Basingse.
Yeah, exactly. That is the motif I was going for when they come back not looking just right. It's Judy. Mm-hmm.
Maybe their memory was wiped from the day they thought about rebelling, and they were like, "Oh, I just
What if they get? What if they
personally wouldn't go with memory wipe, because it's like, because if they come back a totally different person, it would. I feel like it would be something that they've gone through.
Yeah, but that would be the thing, though. Since we're tying it into the systemic, and it's always been that way, people are conditioned to not question these people disappearing and coming back.
memory censorship.
Memory censorship, yeah. The person who got dragged off doesn't exist anymore. Whoever this is that came back is a totally different person.
Yeah.
So it's viable, and it falls within what we've kind of been establishing within this world. Nobody bats an eyelash at it because they've been conditioned not to. You know, Johnny, your cousin 0041 died that day because they questioned the authority, and they got dragged off. They don't exist anymore. Their number is wiped, and
they got vacated.
Yeah, you know that Johnny came back a month later, but you aren't allowed to talk about it. Nobody talks about it. He doesn't exist anymore. Johnny is gone. Does that work for you?
I still don't understand what's happening, though.
We're going off of your re-education idea.
Oh man, I just imagine like a father being taken for re-education, and his daughter or son saw him gone, and then months after he thought that the kid never know what happens to his father, but then he saw his father and then he saw his father somewhere just working, and then he was going to approach it, but his mother stopped him and be like, "No,
Yep.
It's not your father anymore."
That's not your father
and that
anymore.
kid is like, "But it's my dad. He looks like my dad. It's
and
dad."
that could be a reason why you guys are rebelling against it, because fuck you, that's my dad. I know it's my dad.
And the dad is just like, he doesn't remember.
I don't know who you are. Yeah.
But then that just
No.
that still doesn't explain like what happened. Are they actually killed and they have like a look-alike replacement, or are they?
Do we want to go that route? We can go that route.
It's
I I don't know. I'm not like I'm trying to get a sense of what's going.
Yeah,
Like it
We're-
doesn't make sense to me.
But that's what we're doing.
No.
We're working it out so it does make sense. So
The way I see it is that if you don't remember who you used to be, you're starting out new. And if you're given like if you're like really like doesn't remember who you are, and someone told you, oh, you used to be this person, and then you work as this and that, you just have to believe them, because what else do you know? You don't know anything else. You don't know anything else, and even if you try to remember it, you just can't. You come out feeling like you just lost something, but these people just help you to, like, yeah, they seem like they help you, but you just don't know what they've done to you.
so
Because
tell us
yeah.
what you're thinking, Shay. Like,
I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to see that as, you know, what's going on, but it's not doing anything for me.
okay.
It reminds me of that if you watch the series, the Gravity Falls. Basically, what happens to the old guy who are smart? He used to be like this researcher of like mysterious things, supernatural things. But because he saw something that he just doesn't want to see, he keep using the memory wipe. At first, the memory wipe only wipes the thing that he doesn't want to remember, like the monster and stuff. And then he start abusing that power of like forgetting something, because the place where he lives is just full of weirdness. And the more he uses it, the more he just becomes someone else. Or maybe we can just use that tool in the series where it's like it's going to erase only certain memories. But the more you use it on someone, the more their minds just got crazy and crazier, to the point that they just become you just become crazy. And at that point, you can do anything else than put a bullet in their head, because they're not thinking straight anymore. You turn them crazy because of abusing the technology.
So
If
we could
gonna
go ahead.
like, if they're gonna have technology to the point where they can target specific memories and erase them and or alter them, then I like that has to have like some major kind of backlash for or flaw for, you know, said authority.
Maybe it's not actually gone. It's only gone from our mind, but it's stored somewhere. And they store it somewhere too.
The Rick and Morty episode where they find all of their, it's the same thing like the memory eraser gun, except it pulls the memories out, and it's stored, like they have like a whole little vault under the house of all of Morty's fuck ups every time Rick has killed Morty, you know, all of these different categories, and they basically can put the memories back anytime they want. You know, that's immediately what I saw with that, where it's like, yeah, they can take the memories out and like they just have a whole facility full of people's memories. I think what you said though, Shay, where it can be a scathing flaw or an issue, I think that's the point, though. These aren't supposed to be omnipotent powers of maintaining control. There needs to be something inherently wrong with them that can be used to take down, which is why we brought up the point of, you know, your dad gets dragged off to be re-educated because he slipped up somewhere. He's gone for 6 months. Everybody's written him off as dead. You know, your dad doesn't exist. John is gone. He died. You know, everybody treats him like John died. Everybody knows that John got taken somewhere, but culturally, John is dead. And so when John comes back, and now he's Jim, worker 4572, Jim, he doesn't go back to your family. He doesn't, you know, even end up in your neighborhood. But you find Jim, who is John, out on the street somewhere, and you go, Dad. And he goes, I don't have any children. You know, that's where it's like, what the fuck? Why is my dad not recognizing me? Or your mom is like, that's not your dad. Your dad died. She knows that it's your dad, but she knows that he doesn't exist anymore. He was taken. This is Jim now. You as the teenager are rejecting that, and you don't like it, which would be one of the reasons why you're rebelling, because it's fuck that, that's my dad, that's John. Or, you know, your friend or somebody else who got taken. It's not supposed to be a perfect system. It's supposed to be a thing that invokes outrage for you as the player/character. Does that help? And be honest if it doesn't, because we can do something else. Like, this is supposed to be your guys' ideas for what their system of control is. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense, and we'll do something else.
The memory could also come back again. Like it can be like a trigger to come back again, and that leads to like constant re-education.
Yeah.
And
what if one of you got pulled for re-education and something re-sparked your memories, and you're like, oh shit, I remember everything. I can't believe they did that. I remember the awful things that were happening in there.
You can wipe the memory, but that doesn't mean it can be made again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess it just doesn't have... It doesn't really have a sort of visceral impact if all they're doing is like
that's not
a memory gun at you and
it's
taking
not
your memory away.
It's not all that they're doing. Everybody's determining a thing that they're doing, and we're finding how they all mesh together.
No, I mean for that one specific thing. Like,
but it's not just that. It's the method of what's happening and what the end result is.
But what is their method?
Oh, they probably have a... Let's decide. What do we want?
The method is the thing that we are supposed to be deciding.
Yeah, like, let's decide what that is. That's what we're talking about now. So, you know, if they're taking people off for re-education and reprogramming them, what are they reprogramming them for? Like, what is the goal of them being dragged off and re-educated? What are they relearning?
Is this like somebody's thingy, or is this just like conversation?
I think this was an idea that was thrown out and nobody's claimed it. So
I brought it up because it was mentioned. The re-education was mentioned before.
Yeah, which is why I said if it doesn't make sense to somebody, we can throw it out. It doesn't. It's not concrete until somebody claims it as their system of control. And, I mean, if we don't use it, we don't use it. But let's think of something else if not. We don't need to dwell on it for too long if it doesn't work for everybody.
I'll take it. Except they don't remove the memories. They don't store the memories. They just block them.
Okay.
But, like, again, like, that whole process, like, the system of doing that, is it, like, torturous, agonizing process to block those memories, or do they just like give them a pill or shoot them with a brain gun or what?
I currently don't care. It's
if they're meant to be sadistic, it probably is not a pleasant experience.
They probably did tests on them first before they really like, hey, you know what? All right, we'll turn you back on.
Yeah,
but
they take you for re-education, and your memories are wiped not because of you questioning things, but because they did something else to you that they don't want you remembering.
And then you're gonna know if you remember again, because all the traumatic things probably gonna make you panic and just like, yeah.
Do you like that? Does that work for everyone?
Yeah, I'll take that one.
I'm vibing with that.
I'm cool with it, but...
Does it work, Shay?
That's fine.
Is it fine or is it fine?
What's the difference?
Like
Do I
settle?
pick fine or fine?
Is it fine or is it fine?
Just
Like,
just smash enter,
I
skip.
have no idea
we-
what the difference between those two
are
fines
you are you settling, or are you actually okay with it?
That's fine.
All right, so we'll have two then. All right, so we got two more. Somebody did throw out actual experiments, so we could expand on that.
I'm thinking more about like how big or like their influence, like how big their influence are, or the kind of world we're going to be like living in. Like maybe they have like planetary system where they're slowly taking over planets one by one, be sending out people to like, hey, let's build settlements here and there, and these new settlements are much more looser, or like the older settlements that has dried up resources and stuff like that. They're much more looser in security than the ones that are just primary planets and all that stuff. And
What if so this is kind of like a twist. What if we're on a colony ship on its way to settle on a planet, and like the colonizing ship itself is being run by this corporate, and they had made false promises, and then once you get on the ship, the authoritarian like corporate regime comes into play? Or would you rather it not be that kind of setting?
I can
If
work
you
with
want-
that.
If you want to go that far for if you want to be like that hard sci-fi like that, where you're a colonizing ship.
I didn't originally, but then I kind of thought it seemed cool. It's just an idea I threw out there. I'm not like super committed to it or anything.
Well, have you ever seen? Oh shoot, what's the movie? It's a sci-fi horror, but
Yeah, Snowpiercer in space.
I was thinking Snowpiercer in space. To that's what came up. Like that's how it came to mind.
You were saying shit.
But like another idea could be that like this colonizing ship made it to this planet, but with the time it's taken there and with this new culture that developed as part of that, they don't want to actually settle because they want to maintain control. So they don't let anybody know that they're actually at that planet.
Or taking both those ideas and running with it, what if over time the original society that got sent out, so like colony ships, it's going to take 200 years to go from Earth to this planet. Over that time, it originally was controlled by US government. US government or United Earth Nations, whatever, sent this ship out. So it was under the impression that, we're going to colonize, reestablish this for the United Earth Nations of Earth or whatever. But somewhere between year 50 to year 150 or whatever, that idea got thrown out the window because Bright Corpse or something took over and shaped it into what it is now. 200 years have passed, they've landed on this colony, and it's no longer this society that left Earth because it's been reshaped into this. You're on this new colony, and it's the early-ish, just after establishing, the stuff, and it's starting to form up. And the controller, the authority, is trying to maintain this control because, it's an us or whatever's out there type of thing. That's how another way they keep control. It's like you can try your luck out there in the space wilderness, but you don't have anything else. There's nobody else out here but us, and we have everything. And so most people are like, shit, they do have everything, so we stay. But then you have those places like mining station 42, where they send out these little mining colonies and stuff to do things, and you're connected to this network. God damn it, we're just doing your Bag of Bones game.
I mean, we aren't like.
No,
doing
that
a
was that
mining
idea. I was
colony,
like, God damn it, that's just Bag of Bones. And it's like, you're connected to the Hive network. But I liked that sci-fi idea. Then I just realized it's just Bag of Bones. I like the Snowpiercer in space. That's good. That idea was always kind of wonky too, because it's like, you have to stay in this car. It's like, what happens when they run out of space, though?
It was I can't remember the movie name, but there was this this ship, this colonizing ship was going to this planet, and of course it takes hundreds to it takes 1,000 years for them to get there. So everyone's just frozen in stasis, except for every 10 years or so, the captain or main maintenance crew are woken up temporarily to make sure everything's working fine and then go back to sleep. But that happens, and they find out that there are these monsters all throughout the ship, and their memories are just slowly coming back.
Oh, geez, I know this movie.
But by the end of it, they find out that the ship had been there for 10,000 years, and these creatures were just evolved versions of human species who have been in the dark for so long.
I know what that movie is too, and it's gonna bother me for the rest of the night. It also throws my mind back to Love, Death, and Robots, where they had a little they had a little skit about that, where it was one of those ships, and they keep waking this one guy up, and he's like, "What happened?" They're like, "Oh, your ship went off course. You're on the edge of the universe." And he's like, "But how are you here, girl I was in love with 10 years ago at the academy?" And she's like, "Well, I ended up out here too." And it turns out that everything she said was true, except she omitted the detail that he'd been lost for hundreds of thousands of years, and he did reach the end of the galaxy, but she's a horrible eldritch monster, and she's like, "I love you and I want to take care of you, and people who accidentally skip through this warp gate end up here, and I take care of them, and sometimes it's just better that you live in the lie than understand the truth." And he's like, "No, really, I want to wake up." And she's like, "Okay, but I warned you." And he wakes up and he's all emaciated. He's got gross long fingernails and long hair. And she crawls out and she's just this horrible, awful spider monster. And she's like, "I told you, John, you didn't want to wake up." And he's like, "Put me back in." And she's like, "Yeah."
And then the cycle begins again.
Yeah, and then it starts over. And she's like, "Welcome back, John." And it's like, sometimes it's just better to not know the truth. But we have 2 more systems of control to make. Where are we going with these? Because I could ramble all night about not game stuff, and we would not get anywhere.
That's fair.
Are we sticking with planetary? Are we going to space?
Is there a somehow?
I like the spaceship one. My only thought is it narrows your guys' ability to hide.
I mean, the spaceship can be the size of a planet.
You're right. It can be a big spaceship, but it's a spaceship. So regardless of what it is, there's a finite amount of space to it.
Almost like a planet.
Well, yes, but we're thinking realistically, though. It's even if it could be
city.
It would be confined to a city. So there's space enough for it, but it narrows that focus, and your guys' avenue of work is a little harder. Not harder, but it's limited. If the system has control of this we'll say, spitballing, Texas-sized colony ship that's flying everywhere, you only have the distance of Texas to move
Yeah, that's
around.
fine.
Yeah. And it's like, it's big, but once all of your avenues of escape have been exhausted through that, it's not like you can jump across, the ocean or run
we're
into
also-
Maybe
a
escape,
wilderness.
escape not being an option is part of the game's.
Yeah, but
approach.
and that's why I'm not, shutting down the idea, because that could be an avenue of it too. It's like escape isn't an option, so it spurs
Also,
you
I don't
guys
think
into action.
I don't think in the base game it's thought that you're going to be skipping across the country because you're teenagers.
Yeah, that's also fair.
You're not going anywhere.
You're not going anywhere. But my thought is, like, if you're gonna hide out in the woods, you don't have woods to hide out in because you're on a spaceship.
Yeah, but you have boiler rooms instead.
That's
Like,
Yeah.
that's true.
Storage.
What if we can
it just the setting changes to
It confines
a con-
it confines it
it's
a lot.
not a concrete jungle or like a woodlands jungle. It's a space age titanium jungle or whatever.
Mhm.
Metal titanium's probably.
Yeah,
too,
it changes the dynamic, and not in a bad way. Do we like that idea?
I'm into
Pandorum.
All right. Of the two remaining people, who's locking that one down? And I think the system of control is, it's a spaceship. Where are you going to go?
I'm okay with it.
Okay. So then our last person has to think of the fourth one. Shit.
The movie was Pandorum.
I'm gonna look this up real quick. All right, we got one more system of control. Oh, there's a second one apparently. Gross.
There is really.
Oh
Wow.
yeah.
They were on the planet the whole time. They actually got up to the surface.
I remember this because I watched it on Netflix because of the shitty poster of the guy's arm being hooked into the thing. Yeah. I remember this. People were all gross looking. Yeah, this was a neat movie. Wasn't great,
Yeah,
but it was.
No, it wasn't great, but that was. I think the thing that the most interesting thing to me in that was that where the guy who's pretending to be the captain is just like, where are we gonna go? And opens the screen, and it's just blackness, no stars or anything. And then 5 minutes later, a jellyfish floats by. It's just like, oh shit, they're on the bottom of the ocean.
Well, we need the last system of control because we got how much time for character creation?
We do not
we
have a whole lot of
15
time.
minutes left.
We got 40 minutes.
Yikes.
Oh, I thought this was over at 11:30.
We started late, that's why.
Uh,
Well, yeah, because I know it's going to be late for you, too. So,
yeah,
yeah.
I got work in the morning. I kind of was planning on.
No.
ending on
I'm
time.
not going to grief you into staying longer. We should wrap this up then. We can do character creation on the side later. But, because, yeah, we spent a while on this. Eat the Young.
I mean, it's important stuff though. So
It
it's
is. This
totally
is all.
worth
This is
it.
all necessary. Character creation. We need that last system of control then.
I'm chalk out of ideas. I can't really think of anything.
I don't want to do anything cliche like they use drugs.
Sometimes
people need.
cliches
Yeah, sometimes
good,
cliche is okay. It's a cliche because we know it works and it's things that matter. They didn't matter and they weren't good. They wouldn't be cliche. It's not a problem to be done to death. Dystopian society is cliche, but here we are.
Teenage outer space Snowpiercer isn't cliche. We can have a cliche as part of it.
There you go.
The secret is doing the cliche well.
It's true.
Yes.
That is the important part.
We're subverting the cliche.
We're not gonna Ryan Johnson this. Sometimes subverting expectations only subverts
Network error.
network hair.
Yeah. Twitch just kind of died.
Oh, Twitch, no. Let me check. No, my stream has disconnected, attempting to reconnect.
It's trying to come back.
It says my stream health is dead, which is weird because we're still online.
Huh.
I wonder if it's an OBS problem.
Maybe.
Oh, errors from OBS. Yeah, I'm not getting a signal at all. Your stream is experiencing issues. Quality just shot back up. We should be back in a moment. Yeah,
there we go.
I see everything shooting back up, so we should be coming back on here in a second.
Chew.
Sorry about that, folks. It looked like OBS had a hiccup. Which means I need to upload the recording of this instead of using the Twitch Twitch logs, because it's going to be disconnected. Right. Well, what do we got, guys? No, I keep going.
I mean, we can come back to it later too if we aren't we can think on it if we aren't done.
That's fine. That's a good idea. Let's move on and come back to it because we can probably get some of the character stuff started. So system of control is done. Exploits. Just as the authority has strengths, the youthful offenders, that's the word, also have advantages that they can use to smash its grip on the world. These areas of authority vulnerability are called exploits. For example, maybe genetic self-editing is a big part of youth culture. Maybe the city you live in is depopulated and big enough that there are vast areas that the authority can't patrol. Depopulation and genetic manipulation can act as holes in the authority's system of control. In other words, things that the youthful offenders can exploit to attack the bad guy. The authority creates the youthful offender's first exploit the same way that the youthful authority created his systems of control. Like systems of control, exploits are sci-fi elements, things about the world you're playing in that are different from the one you live in. Reading is so hard sometimes. It's probably the alcohol. They also serve to underscore thematic elements you want to explore in the game. After you work out what's going to be, write it down on the dystopian sheet too. During play, you will be writing new exploits and system of control, as well as getting rid of some existing ones. It's the balance between exploits and system of control that determines who wins at the end of the story. So
I have an idea, and it's pretty simple for an exploit.
But I get to make the
corporation's
first
hubris.
one. I get to make the first one because I'm the authority.
Okay.
So I think that the first exploit, the thing that makes these people vulnerable, I think since we're on a spaceship, I like the idea of depopulated areas so that you guys do have places to hide.
Yeah, because how else are we gonna have a kick-ass secret base?
Yeah, and it will be a big spaceship, so depopulation. And I think that the Oh, what was that? I think the depopulation comes in the form of a vast majority of the people are kept in cryosleep. so that even the numbers of people, while ranging in the thousands, these ships have millions, because it's like, you know, what you're told is the last bastion of humanity, to keep, you know, humanity going. So we have to go to this new planet, but we're stuck out in space right now. So, you know, you have millions of people in cryosleep, but only thousands are keeping the ship running at a time.
Okay.
Yep. So that's me.
Thanks.
That's me snagging the first one.
Do we even get to make any? I don't think it says anything.
Authority creates the first unit the same way to the system control.
Oh yeah, you only get new ones during play.
Oh. And see, the way it was worded, it sounded like we all made one, like, for the system of authority. Okay, well then I'm gonna make it, and I determined that it's depopulation.
So, what is genetic self-editing supposed to be?
Whatever you want it
It's
to
an
be.
Example.
Yeah,
That's an example.
it is just an example, and it is whatever you want it to be. One that I saw used when I watched another game to see how this game runs is they made superpowers. They determined that a religious dystopian future basically unleashed a plague on the people they deemed unworthy of being alive, and the people who survived ended up developing superpowers, and that was how they were losing control, was that some people survived, and normally they would recruit the survivors to be part of their regime and are like, look, God, quotation fingers, God wanted this person to live as an example of our righteousness, and we, you know, smite all of the bad people with this plague, this targeted plague on these areas, and they die because God wants them dead. And so that's, you know, the gene manipulation is how they did it. But it, like he said, it's just an idea. We don't have to use it. So I grabbed the first one. The clique and casting. Crows come in murders, dogs come in packs, the youthful offenders come in cliques. What kind of rebels are you going to be? Are you a band? A skate club? Rogue EMTs? Oh, that'd be cool. You guys just have a medical van? That'd be... what drew you together, and why do you stick together? Come up with something interesting and grabby. Pretty much guarantee that if you say classmates, you'll be bored. And banned. At least make them classmates that are always in detention together. True. Write a description of your clique on the dystopian sheet, and then give it a name that you feel you like. This will be the last thing we do tonight, and we can...
Well, the easy answer is we're all part of the same working group, right?
Yep.
It will be funny if we were in group, always be in group, and then there's this one guy that always guide us. And one time we were going through some place that's just off from the society, and our guide just got into an accident, and we just couldn't help them, and we were like, well, guess we're on our own now.
The thing about the working group is it's basically the same as classmates.
It is.
A little bit, yeah.
But I like Oren's idea, though, where it is, yeah, there was, you know, you have the working group leader, and something happens to the working group leader, and, you know, either you guys know it's like, well, working group leader is dead, so we're all fucked. I guess we just leave, because if we go back, we're fucked.
Yo, man, we became zeros.
Yeah. You're gonna think we're rebelling, and we killed the guy.
Yeah. What if that's the thing? You guys are teenagers. You're dumb. You don't know any better. They're gonna blame us for killing the work group leader. And, you know, through the process of you guys not coming back, you get made zeros.
Oh, maybe it's probably something that that would be. It's like it's not something uncommon for teenagers to get fed up by their guides and just decide, fuck it, we're just going to ignore you, or we're just going to kill you, or we're just going to like leave. And when that happens, it's when it's like, yeah, they get re-education or just taken into, yeah.
Do you guys want to go that route as well, or as a possibility, you guys were all taken for re-education and you formed a clique? afterwards. So you are a bunch of you can go the route of you guys are zeros. You guys are people who were reintroduced after being re-educated, and you realized it didn't take, and you realize that something's wrong, or you are being taken to re-education is another option.
Yeah.
I like the idea of us slowly waking up and remembering things about our previous relationship.
I could
I
totally.
feel that's hard to role play though, because
I
it'll
could-
be like random exposition dumps.
I could totally Skyrim opening this for you guys, and you're all coming to in a van.
Why are we in a wagon?
No, it's a van. You guys are in a van bound,
Oh,
being
you're
taken.
awake.
Wow, you're finally awake, Zeros.
No, it's still somehow just a wagon.
Yeah,
We're on a fucking spaceship. What the fuck?
It's a space wagon being pulled by genetically modified space horses.
By genetically modified Mickey Mouses.
By genetically modified Mickey Mouses. Legally distinct Mickey Mouses.
It will be rats.
Someone
It's
better
called
graffiti
Mickeys.
faces on those cryo beds. There you go.
It'll be funny if we call the corporation as rats, quote unquote rats.
Oh god, that's brilliant. Hold on. Legally distinct Mickey Mouses are rats.
Yeah, there are pigs. They're the pigs equivalent.
Yep. That's good.
They're not even pigs, because like pigs actually give us meat. They're just rats. They're just
No,
eating
I mean,
all of our
This
things.
is like a North
Have you
American
never-
nomenclature for cops.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
here's the thing. You guys can call them either Mickeys or rats.
Yeah, that's what we
Well-
call the corporate police.
Yeah, both work is what you call them. You can get away with Mickeys, or if you want to be directly confrontational, it's rats. Like if you call them Mickeys, they're like, okay, haha, fucking punk kids, we got it. But when you call them rats, is when they take out the stun batons. Diesel shot rating with 5 people.
What an interesting moment to rate on.
What an interesting
We're
moment to
about
rate
to
on,
finish
because we
up.
have to be ending as well. But hello. I hope you guys had a fun game. I was lurking. Rindis is Indis to Windis. It's true. I am the authority. I always win. Unless it's against a bunch of rebellious punk teenagers who exploit my one weakness. But hello. Thank you
It's
guys
not
for
true. Sometime I win.
Your weakness of abandoned boiler rooms.
abandoned boiler rooms. But thank you all for stopping by. I think this is a close enough stopping point for us. As far as I can tell, we can kind of hash out the rest of it over the week. I'll probably just poke at people in our chat, to get this stuff worked out. And because we got time, we got a whole week to get this figured out. So everybody just spend some time reading up on it, having an idea of what you want to do. There are sheets open on Roll20, so we'll use those to fill out anything needed. Otherwise, let's wrap it up. We'll do a round of outros of just who you are, where we can find you, and next week we'll have a cleaner overlay with all of our fun information and where you guys can find each other. So we'll start the same way we did with Fabs on my right.
It's weird to start the outro when I'm not outro. So that's
Yeah,
kind of awkward.
we start with outro, doing the outros on Packet Loss, so I'm changing it up.
All right. Okay. It's okay. See you next week. I don't really have anything to shout out or anything, so see you next week.
Yep. All right, we'll go down to Ored.
Shout out. So like games we're in and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can hype up anything you're doing, where they can find you on like Twitter, or if you do Twitch yourself, where they can find you so they know what to look for throughout the week.
Okay, so the usual thing. Well, you can find me at Twitter, Oren Rune, and I'm also playing a game in New to the Party, which is an ESL game where it's basically people of different language, where English isn't their native language, and we're playing Ghost of Saltmarsh, and yeah.
Awesome. We started playing that for a little while, and then it fell through. That was sad because I actually liked that game.
Hmm.
And then we'll go down to
Rez
outro.
has been a good GM too.
Yeah, and outro.
Hi, I'm Outro. You can find me here Wednesdays and Thursdays and over on my own channel virtually any other time. That channel is Outro1 on Twitch. Twitter, you can find me Outro42. Right now, I'm kind of just playing Minecraft and tabletop RPGs. Sunday, we're returning with what I'm dubbing Season 2 of Bag of Bones on my channel, which is a Mothership actual play. We'll be picking that up, and that is at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
How did season 1 end? It's been so long.
Yeah, it's been. That's why I'm dubbing it Season 2. I remember where it stopped, but
it's
oh, no,
not a
little
mid-season
way to dig into
hiatus.
Yeah. I feel like there's enough moving parts to like have a Season 2 open on an exciting point.
Fair enough. And so, last but not least, the beautiful, fabulous love of my life, Shay.
Hi everyone, I'm Shay. I am a member of Party Wipe Gaming. I am an artist. I draw things that people want drawn. I've been reading up on how to do maps and things, so we'll see how that goes. My Twitter handle is @JimShay. You will also find me on a number of the Party Wipe Gamings, actually all of them, most of them. 99% of the games.
99%. We haven't got you on Packet Loss, yes, but
no, I'm not on Packet Loss. It's like the only one I'm not on. But yeah, that's me.
all right. Hi, I'm Rindis. Indis to Windis. That's our new catchphrase now, according to Diesel Shot, who rated us with 5 people. Thank you again. You guys should check out Diesel Shot sometimes. They're pretty awesome. They do cool Westmarch games and Fallout RPGs that I have sat in and watched pretty considerably. He is a fabulous person, and we love him. We are on here going on 6 days a week now. Mondays, we play my homebrew 1920s inspired high fantasy adventure called Forest for the Trees. On Tuesdays, we just recently played Vampire the Masquerade, Vancouver by Night, aka Northern Lights. I play a Lasombra. Shay plays a Tremere that is too powerful for her own good now that she got to Diablerize someone.
I ate a person.
Outro, she has twice as much experience as we do because she Diablerized a Ventru. So she is just OP as fuck right now. Wednesdays.
I could have gotten more if I had more willpower.
She could have gotten more, but she didn't re-roll her willpowers. Wednesdays, we are of course here for our new show, Misspent You. Look at how great it is. I'm hand gesturing off the camera, so it's worthless. Thursdays, you will catch us tomorrow here again, where Kelsa Delphi will be hosting our Packet Loss. That's the word. A scum and villainy sci-fi adventure. Again, we're doing 2 sci-fi games back to back, apparently. Where I play a slacker hacker, Outro plays a disjointed medical person, soon to be retired.
Medical. Use that word loosely.
I do use it loosely. I didn't call you a doctor. You noticed that. But that's what we do on Thursdays. Friday is up in the air, but this Friday is Valentine's Day, so expect Shay and I to be playing at least something lovey-dovey. Also, Shay, remember to check your mail on Friday. Saturdays, we play Descent into Avernus, where I am the dungeon master dragging my players through literal hell. Sundays, we play Curse of Strahd. That's a new game where we are also on camera, and some of us cosplay our characters on that one. Yeah, I have a cool dragon mask that I am not ashamed to wear. Apparently, I've been dubbed a Scaly for wearing a dragon mask, but it's fine. Fuck you. I'm a blue scale dragonborn, and it's awesome. Sunday, that's it. Everything's done. You can check out our Patreon if you enjoy the game and you want to help us up our production costs to make sure that things like Zoom stays functioning, because apparently Zoom is expensive and they want a lot of money to have it up and running every month. If you do sign up, You have options of things like being part in one-shots that we try to run every month for people, including the Aliens RPG or Honey Heist, which is on the table right now for February. So if you want to be a bear stealing honey, that is what we're going to do. I think it's going to be Honey Heist for sure. So check it out if you guys want to help support the cast and pay crew cost and keep the lights on for all of this stuff, or cat taxes if people have cats. Otherwise, we're done. Fab, go to bed. I know it's like stupid late for you. Everybody say goodnight.
It's really early. It's 7 a.m.
Stupid early. It's stupid early for you. Is there anybody that we can raid? Twitch hiccuped on me, so I don't know if Jero is still on.
It's the graveyard shift, so good luck to those who were raiding.
Yeah, I have that habit of sending people out just as they're ending too. It doesn't look like anybody's on. Nobody that would notice anyways. So we'll just wrap up here. Thanks for watching. Big shout outs again to Diesel Shot for raiding us. You guys are fabulous. We love you. We'll see you guys next week with a fully functioned group of youthful offenders. Bye.
Night, everyone.
Bye.